Welcome to today's Software AG webcast titled, Are You Ready for the Next Wave? Managing the Retiring DBA Workforce. Today's webcast will be presented by Mark Combs, Senior Director, Professional Services at Software AG. As we move through today's presentation, I invite you to submit any questions that you may have via the Q&A box, which is located on the bottom center of your webcast dashboard. We will address your questions at the end of today's program. In the event that we're not able to answer your question, your submission will be noted, and we will be back in touch with you as soon as possible. Today's presentation is being recorded. This webcast recording will be posted to the Database and Natural playlist on the Software AG YouTube channel later today. It is now my pleasure to welcome Mark Combs.
Hi, and good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining today's webcast. I wanted to have some discussions in regards to some of the challenges that organizations are facing today with the retiring workforce and ways that they're overcoming those challenges, in addition to areas that Software AG can actually support organizations using the Database and Natural technology. So with that, today we'll be looking at the retiring workforce, some of the common issues across organizations globally. We'll have a discussion around Database and Natural 2050 plus objectives overall of database management services. We'll look at the standard DBA managed services operation model. We'll look at some database managed services models in general, including the full service models as well as support service, which is on request 24/7 as well as 8x5. And then we'll also have a few customer examples to discuss as well. So with the retiring workforce that's occurring today, some of the most common issues that you see amongst organizations today is that the professionals have an accelerated turnover rate within their organizations. They're not having any succession planning that's in place, and knowledge loss is going out the door on a daily basis. Impacts that this could have overall is effect to mission critical applications, both from a cost perspective or revenue loss perspective if the applications aren't being maintained and they go down. In addition to that, it's also expensive for some organizations to look out into the workforce because they're also battling other organizations for the same talent. In regards to some of the other challenges, if you look at the next 3 to 5 years, there's going to be a large turnover of resources, and that process has actually already started, where organizations has reached out to Software AG asking how they can get specific support. So some of the things that organizations are doing is they're looking at how they can hire new resources and actually how they can get the appropriate knowledge transfer in place once they do hire those resources. Some of the other challenges that they have from a new generation of workers, a lot of the workers that are coming on board today aren't like the baby boomer workforce where they had long-term careers or tenures with companies. There's more career mobility out there for the younger generation, so you also see a higher cycle of turnover. So one of the challenges organizations have currently is when they do hire people, they're not long-term. So they do have a high turnover rate with newer employees as well. So some of the things that can be done internally for these organizations is immediately begin capturing knowledge in regards to the resources that are getting ready to retire. Look at organizational cultural changes for resources that are coming on board or new resources that you're hiring that may be millennials or even younger. Creation of more standardized work practices. So just ensuring that there's a standardized process internally with how the work practices occur within the organizations. Documentation of the environment and processes. So enterprise application management is an example of that, or enterprise architecture management, where Software AG has tool sets, Alphabet and Eris, that can help document the holistic environment. So when new resources come on board, it's a smaller learning curve for them to understand the environment. Other companies or other organizations are also looking at how do they postpone retirement for some workers. Some organizations have even brought back resources that are planning on retiring. They've actually even brought them back as subcontractors. And one of the other things that resources or organizations are currently doing today is they're actually selecting organizations similar to Software AG or Software AG to provide their managed services for them around DBA administration. So with the announcement of Database and Natural, the 2050 and beyond, one of the things that we intend to do is to ensure that Database and Natural still has the high availability, high performance, low operating cost, and strategic relevance for our customers. And with that, a lot of customers are looking at the future with Database and Natural, and they're going to have to determine how they replace the existing workforce that's getting ready to retire that has the Database and Natural knowledge, or going to some kind of managed services model to ensure that there is no gap in service that they're receiving today. So some of the objectives for customers that they're doing for preventative and corrective maintenance, they've chosen to utilize database management services with ensuring that there's an objective to provide that administrative support of their current infrastructure, and to ensure that things like DBA services, architecture design, monitoring, fixes and patches, security and overall operations support, disaster recovery, and other areas are still maintained, and they're continued from an operational efficiency perspective. So with that Software AG standard DBA managed services operating model, as you can see outlined in the diagram, we ensure that we look at the customer natural and database infrastructure, and then we actually have our SAG DBA managed services organization and a Software AG service desk that interacts with the customer, and after we understand their natural and database infrastructure, is able to interact with the customer. So some of the database management service models that Software AG offers is DMS full service, which includes full database and natural infrastructure DBA support. It is 24/7, and it also includes SLAs. And what that offers to you is that there's a specific targeted audience that has no DBA support at all, and we're there to ensure that we eliminate the risks that I'd mentioned earlier. The other models that we have is DMS support service, which is 24/7, where you may have specific resources internally with your organization, but you may need that after-hours support for production or just day-to-day support as well. But that is 24/7, where the customer can actually call into the Software AG database management services team and ensure that if there's anything that is occurring within their production environment or anytime during the 24/7 operating model, that they can get the support that's needed. And then we also offer DMS support services for 8x5 model, which is during normal operating business hours. And again, that's also for organizations that have some type of support, but not enough support to ensure that the risk is fully mitigated to their organization. So we're going to take a look at first the DMS full service model. So with the DS full service model, we have certain levels that we provide. Those are standard, platinum, and gold. Some of the determining factors as to why you would want to use a full service model would be if you're still doing new development within your organization, you have projects that's ongoing, you want to ensure that there's full stability of your environment, and if you do quite a bit of maintenance on that environment, or you have tickets that you open, for instance, on a day-to-day basis or on a monthly basis, you may have a specific number of tickets that are opened in regards to adding fields to files, reorging files, things of that nature. So the standard model is actually doing a full knowledge transfer, where Software AG would come in and we'd do a full knowledge transfer with you. And then we would do daily maintenance and monitoring of your existing environment, and it provides 8 tickets per month on request. So as an organization, you'd be able to submit tickets to the Software AG DBA Management Services team, to have those tickets resolved for you, whatever they may be. We do 2 scheduled maintenance sessions per month as well, and then as scheduled with the customer, of course, we'll do 1 disaster recovery planning session and testing session per year. And then again, we do have service level agreements that are in place for uptime of the system and things of that nature. The Platinum is similar to Standard. The biggest difference within the Platinum model that you're going to see, as well as the Gold model, is the number of tickets that the organization may want to open per month. So that's the largest difference between Standard, Platinum, and Gold is going to be the average tickets per month that an organization feels they may need or want. And then with the Gold model, you're also going to see 20 tickets per month. So the engagement process of what Software AG does to identify the need of the customers, we'll come in and we'll actually do an identification where the customer may either reach out to us or we've reached out directly to a customer. We'll ask a customer to complete a questionnaire for us related to what they currently do around their database management services today. We'll come on site and do an on-site assessment to gather information about what the overall scope and costing would be. We'll also do a RACI matrix to understand what the roles and responsibilities of the organization as well as Software AG would be. And in addition to that, we would do the knowledge transfer would begin from a 10 days perspective. Once the contract's been signed, we would begin the knowledge transfer. So that would be on site. And there would be the initial project implementation as well as setting up what the architecture would be, configurations, roles and responsibilities, and how the processes of the ticket handling would occur. With that, we would actually start the project. Normal projects with Software AG are 1 year with options for renewal for years 2 and forward. During the first year, again, there'll still be some ongoing knowledge transfer. It may not take the full year to do that, but we would be doing some of that knowledge transfer in addition to that year 1, and that's where we would also be doing all of the preventative and corrective maintenance with the customer as well. And again, if you do a contract renewal, then it would be the continuation of the DMS services for the preventative and corrective maintenance. Some other areas that we talked about earlier was the DMS support service 24/7. Again, this is where you may have a junior DBA or someone that has some knowledge around database management services and you don't need the full service model for your organization. And again, we would have limited knowledge transfer. We also have Standard, Platinum, Gold with these as well. And it's all based on how many tickets that you would need support with per month. And if you look at this for each of the DMS support services model 24/7, we've got the only tickets that could actually be scheduled outside of the 8x5 would be your production models. And again, the Standard, Platinum, Gold models are all distinguished by the number of tickets per month that a customer would need, but it is 24/7. And again, some of the determining factors of why you'd want to select a model of this nature would be new development projects, number of tickets opened per year or per month, and the stability of your environment, and if you have current resources that have some limited knowledge and internally that's actually supporting your environment. And again, the DMS support service model 8x5, again, is only by 8x5 support. The ticketing model is similar to the 24/7. The only difference with this model is that there's no production support required by the organization or your organization. Some customer examples that we have currently today is Foremost Insurance, which is a full service model. We have a company, AST in Canada, which we provide full services for as well. Domtar uses our support service model where it's on request. They do use the 24/7 model. We have Virginia SEC, which also uses a support service 24/7 model. SC Johnson uses the support service 24/7 model, as well as State of Alaska. And then we also have Boston University that uses our full service model. With that, if there's any questions or anything of that nature.
Okay. Sorry about that. I am going to pose a couple that we have, and this is an opportunity for everybody that is with us to please type your questions in now, if you haven't done so. First one I have. Simple. Are product upgrades included?
So product upgrades are not included in the examples that I presented today, but one of the things that we can do is we can look at the environment and actually do a costing model that would include product upgrades, or the product upgrades could be costed out separately from the DMS services support.
Okay. The next one I have for you are product fixes and patches.
Yes, as part of the standard full service model, we do provide support around any fixes or patches that needs to be applied to the current versions of the Software AG technology. So that would be part of the maintenance support.
Okay. The next one I have for you, do you help organizations with resource enablement if they are looking at hiring resources to replace the ones that are leaving or that have left?
So we do. We offer several different enablement options as well. Software AG can help organizations go in and actually do the knowledge transfer from a Software AG resource to a new hire resource. We can also develop out education work plans or roadmaps for individuals based on their current skill set. Some organizations have actually hired us to come in and they've used internal resources that they're repurposing specifically for database administration, and they've hired us to come in and help do knowledge transfer to them on the ANN or database and natural product stack. And we've also stayed there for certain periods of time to ensure that the individual that was taking over database administration support was comfortable in what they were doing. So it's a more short-term model, developing out an education roadmap with whatever gaps that individual may need, as well as probably, if agreed to by the organization, some formal training and mentoring.
Very good. Okay. Well, we don't have any more questions, and this was a very quick snippet, but obviously this is a very critical topic. You do not have your contact information on this final screen, Mark. Do you perhaps want to convey your email to those that are here so that
Sure.
If they do wish to follow up with you?
Absolutely. So again, the email address that you can reach me at is mark.combs, C-O-M-B-S, at softwareag, and that's all one word, .com.
Great. Okay. Well, with that, again, Mark, thank you for your time in the presentation. Thanks to everybody that is with us. And again, if you'd like to see this video later, it's going to be on the Database and Natural playlist on the Software AG YouTube channel within about 2 to 3 hours. So definitely check it out there and share it with your colleagues. Thank you, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your day.